Call to order the RTA Board of Trustees meeting for Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Roll call, please, Teresa.
Mayor Biassiata.
Here.
Ms. Elder.
Here.
Mayor Kumar.
Here.
Mr. Love.
Here.
Reverend Lucas. Ms. McPherson.
Here.
Ms. Pachetti.
Here.
Mr. Sleesman.
Here.
Mayor Weiss.
Here.
And Ms. Welch. We have 8 committee members, board members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Item number 3, certification regarding notice of meeting.
Mr. President, I first advise that notice of this meeting has been posted more than 24 hours in advance of the meeting, that the usual notification has been given the news media and other interested persons, and that all requirements of the Ohio Revised Code and rules and bylaws of this board regarding notice of meeting have been complied with.
Thank you very much. Item number 4, approval of the January 21st minutes. Those are in front of you. Any comments or edits from the board? If not, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second, Elder.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, public comment on agenda and non-agenda items. Do we have anyone in person that would like to make a comment to the board? If you can, just go right up to the microphone here on your left. Thank you.
And sir, if you would just hit the button, it'll turn green for it to come on.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi there. My name is Alec. I'm a West Park resident. I take the red line from Triscuit to Quincy most mornings for work. So I'm coming today to, number one, bring up the fact that so these meetings taking place on a Tuesday at 9 a.m. doesn't necessarily make it so that the public comment portion can probably be as full and vibrant as possible. So I don't know what the historical context is, if this is kind of precedent, but I think like moving these meetings to a time where more of your ridership and constituency could actually attend would be helpful. So maybe a 3 or a 4 p.m. start. I know that you guys have clearly a lot of staff here, and so that is something to take into consider as well. On my daily commute, I typically enter Triscuit Station. I'll unfortunately walk past 3 or 4 homeless individuals that are sleeping in the station, and then get on a train where I may be the only person taking it for transit and the only person awake. So there's a number of ways to take this. Firstly, if there are individuals that are also taking the train as well, I've noticed that they are likely to be male. So I don't think that whether the perceived or reality to safety, I'm kind of stumbling over my words, but basically, like whether there's a threat to safety, perceived or real, that is perceived. And so I think that the RTA would grow viewership or ridership, pardon me, if we were to have less homeless individuals in the station on the train. And it's not necessarily helping these individuals as well. Acting like this is not a problem, isn't kind of good for the ridership, isn't good for RTA, its reputation, its goal of growing its ridership, and it's also mostly not good for the individuals as well. So I would like to see RTA kind of bolster their efforts and do the hard work and do the heavy lifting in terms of connecting these people to those necessary resources so that they can better their lives and so that we can have the great transit service that we want and deserve. So thank you.
No, thank you very much for your comments. Those are appreciated. Yes, sir.
My name is Kevin Hinkle. I'm a longtime RTA commuter. I live in the city of Cleveland, and I'm bringing up concerns about snow removal from all the bus stops over here. Every time we have snow drift and stuff, it makes it very dangerous for the community, especially for seniors, to get up to the coach. The coach can't pull close enough to the curb so the commuters can get on the coach or anything like that. And second, I want to address about your contact with some of your coach operators toward the commuters when they have this particular question about destinations and and connecting routes. When a commuter comes up and asks the coach operator about how do I get the point, he comes, well, I don't know, what's that, things like that. They're doing my job. Like that. And I think we need to look into something like that, or some kind of anger management program. That's all I want to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chris Martin, City of Cleveland. First off, I want to thank y'all for proceeding to 60% design on the West 25th BRT with bus lanes recommended through the Market District. Clevelanders for Public Transit sent all of you 85 letters asking for this, and you did it. Thank you. And actually, I kind of wanted to address Chief Jones and Chief Burney. I don't see either of them here. From Chief Jones, I was hoping to hear whether she had fun helping inaugurate the fascist President Trump. And for Chief Burney, I was wondering, and I guess I'll submit a public records request for this through the official channels or whatever. But I was wondering how much that cost. How much did it cost to send transit cops to DC to help inaugurate President Trump? And then I guess I'm just kind of wondering, related to that, you know, I'm very scared right now. I see in this country a very quickly rising tide of fascism. And we need to fight back any way we can, everywhere we can. And one way that you all can do that is by demanding that RTA police do not participate in immigration enforcement. And I would like to hear that from all of you. I have emailed several of you, have not heard back from any of you. And I would like to hear that from the chief of police, that you will not participate in fascist immigration enforcement. That's all.
Thank you for your comments. We have others in the audience. Okay, if not, do we have anyone on the phones?
In the back, do we have anyone on the phone?
We have one caller.
Okay.
Caller 0387.
Eric.
You can go ahead.
This is Eric Stewart, your customer service line, 216-621-9500. Is still cutting people off regularly who want to get into the survey. And I'm repeating to you again.
Mr. Stewart, Mr.
Stewart.
Stewart, I'm going to stop you right there. We've covered this ground. The survey is not set up how you envision it. We've explained that. Management
I haven't expressed how I envision it. I never get enough time to tell you that. So if you want to address something that I'm thinking, first be clear on what I've expressed to you about what I thought. Do you want to continue?
Go ahead, but if you're going to go down the same road, we're going to move on to another public comment.
I'm not going down a road. I don't speak metaphorically. I'm speaking directly in strict elementary language, free from innuendo. Do you want to continue, or do you want to allow me to finish?
Go ahead and finish for the time being.
There aren't that most of the people that call that line, including myself, aren't calling about paratransit at all. I don't even personally know anybody that rides paratransit. But when you can get through the line, ask about ask your opinions about paratransit. I've only gotten through twice in 39 times, and you should readjust it so that it actually addresses matters of what they may be calling about, such as routes for regular riders that ride the regular bus and their interaction with the customer service people to answer the phone. That's what the customer service line survey should be about. In addition to that, you now have your and have had for a few months set up so that people can only call at the very beginning of the Board of Trustees meeting and pose a question or make a comment, when you should go back to having it once at the beginning and once at the end, so that if somebody's compelled to address something that was brought up in the meeting on that day, they can address it on that day, which is the way it should be. And in addition to that, you should respond to people that are actually talking to you about matters directly related to transit, as I always do. So, having said that, last month, you, Paul Kumar, made a comment about my suggestions in reference to the 15A and 48A, claiming that they were disrupting or not connecting well for your mission of work, school, and hospital, but you gave no evidence of that. So I'm giving you an opportunity today, any one of your board of trustees that have actually read the email that I sent you, and I sent again to Teresa Barrage yesterday, and I made a request in the web form that I hope you read today. Show me and everybody that can listen if there's any evidence that the suggestions that I made work against work, school, and hospital pursuits for the better efficiency for the people that ride the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority bus service and rail service. I want you to do that, and I want you to make my public comments completely public, not abbreviated. And I
Mr.
want you to
Stewart,
take those emails and make
thank you
them
very
available
much
to the
for your
public.
comments. Your time is up. I know we've covered this with the Board of Trustees before. Mr. Freelick has presented on the disruption. It would be just one example would be to Marymount Hospital, which would be only hourly service. And I know management has looked at this. They are comfortable with Next Gen attracting the greatest number of ridership for those individuals trying to get to and from work and to key things like hospitals. So unless there's a change, I think you're going to stay with that course of action for the foreseeable future?
Yes, we will. Again, we appreciate all comments. Understand that any continued disrespect will result in a reduced amount of time as accordance with the board chair's conclusion. We appreciate the comments from the public. However, we have addressed this ad nauseum. The survey will remain as intended, as well as the service that was mentioned. We'll continue to monitor, and we appreciate that. I'm sorry, we'll have to continue with, we would not take questions from the floor unless at the, we will continue, sir. We will continue, sir, with the agenda. We appreciate your, we continue with the agenda as scheduled. We had public comment. We did receive the 2 minutes from everyone who was on the floor, including yourself and the caller. Thank you.
Mr. Barr, I'll clarify that for me. I'm more than happy to listen to any public comment input that can help the board better manage and for management to take it under consideration to better serve residents. Having the exact same public comment month after month after month, and we look at it and we'll make a decision on that, and we take that public comment in, and having that just retreaded every single month, that's not a good use of anyone's time. We're going to be open for a comment. If it's the same comment, and we say we're going to look at it for a foreseeable future, we're going to run with Next Gen for a period of time. Management at some point is going to review it and say, hey, do we need to make a change? We're going to allow them to do that. So we've taken those comments in. They just happen every single month.
I'm just wondering what tool you would be using to reduce this one individual's time.
Well, if it's information we covered and public input we have, then we have that public input. If it's new additional public input, we're going to be more than welcome to hear that out. I'm going to listen to him and say if we have that. If it's on this, I'm going to ask him to move to the next topic. If he has no comment after that, then his time is over.
Sorry, can we stop debating a theoretical that hasn't even happened
Yeah,
yet?
we handle it. We're always open to that. So we're going to listen to people, and we're going to ask them to give us public comment. We'll move on if we need to. Thank you.
In the back, do we have any more callers? One more?
We have one more caller. Caller 5469, you're on.
Hi, my name is Harley Rubin. It's my first time speaking. I actually didn't even really know about this meeting until I was looking up one of the issues I've been having. So I just wanted to start by concurring with a few of the people who have already spoken, specifically about changing the time of the meeting, because I just get to work every day at 8:30, so I'm taking a few minutes out of my work day, and also about complying with ICE, which I also, immigration enforcement, police at this time do not necessarily need to, and so just supporting people knowing their rights. But I wanted to also say I personally don't have an issue with the homeless being able to be on public transit, so just wanted to comment on that as well, that I think it is actually a safety issue, and it gets really cold to be able to have people in a safe, warm place. My issue that I wanted to bring up to the board today was about wraps on buses and the stripes in the windows. I'm a social worker at Metro Health, and I believe that this impacts not only my own mental health, the people who take the bus, and as well ability to see what stop you're at. I want you to consider what it means for people to be able to have a view of the outside when they're on the bus. Every single day I take the 9 to the 51 to go to Metro Health from Cleveland Heights, and I would really love to be able to see outside the bus, especially in the winter months. It's been really dark, and just every single day to look through multiple just stripes across the window when they really aren't even needed for the advertising. But in general, for the advertising, just wondering about prioritizing the riders of the bus over the money that you receive. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Any other callers?
There are no other callers.
Any web comment?
Yes, we have several comments. The first comment is from Isaac Shimsky Agosta of Cleveland. He is looking forward to the smart cards now that we have the validators in Tower City. He's saying that this would be more convenient than having to log in and charge battery. Okay. End of comment. The next comment is from Laquita Worley of Cleveland. Are the board members seriously transit riders? Which routes are they knowledgeable about? Describe to us their experience of first learning how to ride. Have you ever had to teach a child how to ride? And how has the routes and fares changed? That's end of comment. The next comment is from Bernie Okar of Medina. We need through service return from Strongsville to the West Side Market. And then he also said we need to return some service to Bridge Avenue. And then the caller that just called in, Harvey Rubin, he stated all his comments. He's concerned about the bus wraps impeding his vision. So he stated those comments already. And then the last comment, also Mr. Eric stated all of, Mr. Stewart stated all his comments on the line. He's concerned about the 15A and the 48A touch point presentation that he has submitted to the board and emailed those comments in. He pretty much stated everything on the phone that's in this email, so I'll put this in the records.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Under Board Governance Committee reports in items 7 through 13, do we have any committee chairs that have a report out or any information for the board? Okay. If not, we were going to move to item 14, introduction of new employees and announcements of promotion. Ida Marshall, Senior Manager of Talent Acquisition.
Good
Always a pleasure.
morning, Board President Kumar, General Manager, CEO, India Birdsong Terry, and Board of Trustees, and Reverend Lucas. It's so nice to see you. My name is Ida Marshall, representing HR Department on behalf of George Fields. I'm privileged to announce our February new hires, many of which I'm so happy we saw at our December 7th job fair, and they're starting to come through. About 30 new operators, and I'm starting with Valerie White, Kevin Benjamin, Veronica Terry, Damar Sheffy, Denard Rawls, Holly Ann Jackson, Deanna Harris, Ariane Smetley, and Joelle Bullock. Continuing on is Kelly Jones, Melinda Fletcher, Arthur Fletcher, Marshall Kane, Asia Davis, Darion Adams, Jeffrey James, Antonio Goins, and Alicia Fernandez. Samuel Bullock, Michael Miller, Samuel Hutchins, who was a retired bus operator and rejoined us back, and we're happy to have him back. Sharonda Patton, Daryl Howard, Aaron Murphy, Thadia Woods, Jonah Enia, and Crystal Lawson. Tequila Taylor, Chardonnay Milner, Marissa Oatman, and moving into paratransit is Jesse Harris, as paratransit operator, Starnay Buck, paratransit operator, and Shalonda Robinson, paratransit operator, and Dante Matthews, paratransit operator, as well as Carlos Armstrong, paratransit operator. We're moving into transit police, Mariana Gonzalez as a transit ambassador. Here at the MOB, Yvette Gary, workers' compensation claims examiner. I know that we're happy to have her on board. Moving into operations is Zachary Martin as equipment servicer, Reggie Williams the same, Rafael Escobar, Danielle Chenier, all equipment servicers in rail, and then Austin Stash is a maintainer, and Curtis Cook, by way of Canada, is our new signal technician. Derek Wigfield, our hostler part-time. And we want to acknowledge Kimmy Kasarchik. She was a student at Miami University of Ohio. She spent some time here with us, and she worked under the Ohio Public Leaders Fellowship Program under Tony Garafelli's group, doing some data analytic work. And she did a fabulous job, and we wanted to acknowledge her for her work that she did in his group. We have a small but mighty group for our February promotions, but they are very deserving. We have John Koss, Assistant Supervisor Section. We're going to honor Chanel Steiner, the new Manager of Digital and External Marketing, Tricia Simmons, Dispatcher Paratransit, and Bradley Burns, Laborer Safety Sensitive. And that rounds us off. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And you, out of curiosity, do you have any updates on where we are in terms of operator shortages? I know you've been tracking that pretty closely.
Yes, the last we had a week ago, about 41 is our deficit. And so we're still climbing out of it. We have an event on March 15th, Saturday, at Tower City.
Great, you made great progress.
Thank you, appreciate your help.
Okay, item 15, there is an executive, I'd like to make a motion for an executive session to review the negotiations concerning the compensation/terms and conditions of employment for GCRTA's union employees. Is there a second?
Second, Mayor Weiss.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Biassiata.
Yes.
Ms. Elder.
Yes.
Mayor Kumar.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Yes.
Reverend Lucas. Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
Ms. Pachetti.
Yes.
Mr. Sleesman.
Yes.
Mayor Weiss.
Yes.
And that's it. We have 9 ayes and none opposed.
Excellent. We're going to go in the caucus. motion to come out of executive session. Is there a second?
Second, Pachetti.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Biassiata.
Yes.
Ms. Elder.
Yes.
Mayor Kumar.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Yes.
Reverend Lucas. Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
Ms. Pachetti.
Yes.
Sorry. Mr. Sleesman.
Yes.
And Mayor Weiss.
Yes.
You have 9 ayes and none opposed.
Excellent. Item number 16, we're going to move to the resolutions. First, we have 2025-23.
Expressing appreciation to Anthony D. Biassiata for his service as a member of the Board of Trustees of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority and extending best wishes for many years to come.
Some comments from management?
Yes, so this is always bittersweet. We appreciate you, Mayor Biassiata, for your time and attention. We were actually having, I'll give a little bit of a story if I can. We were having a dry run and rehearsal, and I believe it was Melinda D'Angelo that actually kicked off the comment and the praise of your attention to detail, and I think we would all agree you brought an additional layer of oversight to the resolution process through the committee that you serve over. It's always nice to be able to have a board member who is interested in what we do, but to have one that I think is invested and willing to sort of respectfully fight for the information and the education process is really imperative to what we do, because not everybody sees all of the stuff that goes on under the hood. And we don't always agree as a group, but I think at the end of the day, we do agree that we have to be able to serve the customer, and you have fully embodied that, so we appreciate you for that, and we appreciate the time you spent with us. Thank you.
Welcome.
And I would just echo those comments before you say a few words, Tony, that your attention to detail is great, but you're also able to bring it up in the big picture and in your pre-meetings, highlight things that are pertinent to the board and to the public, and that's a special trait that you have.
Thank you both. It is bittersweet. It's not goodbye, it's au revoir. I want to acknowledge the comments. There's a lot of people when you're on the outside looking in, and it's the same for all my boards. What you see is like the final product, and the real work is in the lead up. And if you're a committee chair, you meet with the department heads, and what our president and CEO are speaking to is those dry runs, so to speak. And I've been blessed with a gift, and I can take complex numbers and complex ideas and situations and turn them into, most of the time, words and graphs and stuff that lay people can understand. And when you see the presentation in my committee online, et cetera, it represents hundreds of hours of work of the directors and a little bit of time of mine preparing for that. And I was glad I was able to bring that flavor. I've also from time to time been known to ask a tough question, but it's always been fair. But the main thing that drawn me here and what's going to keep me involved and help me, any of you in any way, and I'll continue to be an advocate for this agency, is we share the passion. I understand the importance of mobility plays in the quality of people's life. Mobility plays a role in economic development and the overall health of the community. And it also plays a part in that regional cohesion. When RTA is performing well, it's certainly this great partner that brings together other agencies. We work with NOACA, and maybe work with the Land Bank. We certainly work with all the suburban mayors. We work with the city of Cleveland. And it's one of those weird opportunities where you get to sit in a chair that allows you to see it all come together. And the next few years are going to be really exciting for this agency. Like I said in the newspaper when they interviewed me, I plan to remain involved, just in a little less official way. I sit on a number of boards. I run a city of 12,000 people, and I recently got married and have an instant family with the 2 stepsons, 8 and 16, and I've been blessed with this later in life, and I'm going to take the time that I was dedicating to this and pour it into that family life. And absent that excellent reason, I'd be looking to be with you for several more years. So I'm going to miss the relationships amidst the activity and all the accomplishments, but I'll be staying close, just not in a physical manner. I'll call in, I'll watch the meetings. And one thing I'd like to add, I've come into organizations in the past where I had to be a major agent of change and sometimes say things unpopular and ask even tougher questions, and we've had to change personnel. And when I originally sought out this appointment, I thought that was going to be the case. I had been a few years removed from being an everyday writer, and I just, the perception, like one of our writers said, the perception came to reality. And when I got here, those two things didn't sync up. I found tremendous people working hard for the greater good that are here not for a paycheck, they're here for a passion because they want to serve people. I found incredible leadership. I found a great board, and there was just an opportunity to be an advocate. There's a couple times I called Columbus and Washington, trying to bring more dollars back, trying to make things a little more bipartisan, and bringing the money back because everybody benefits from great mobility, like I mentioned when I first started talking. We have a big agenda. Anyone wants to reach out down the road, I have certainly more thoughts. I'm always approachable, and your call is always welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, go ahead.
If we could have any board members just kind of line up for Bob there for the photo.
I tried cutting through the construction in the parking garage, and I got it covered in.
Oh, right, it does.
I think we need a motion and a second.
Yes. Do I have a motion for that resolution?
Oh, so moved, Mayor Weiss.
A
Second, Sleesman.
Second, Pearson.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2025-24.
Authorizing contract number 2024-220 with Giroux Incorporated to provide HACCP software maintenance and support services for a 3-year period and a total amount not to exceed $1,089,936. General Fund, Information Technology, Department Budget.
Great, you've heard that resolution. Do I have a motion to move that forward?
I move to approve.
Second? I'll make the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carries. 2025-25.
Authorizing contract number 2024-179 with Gen Fair LLC to provide fare box collection software support services for a period of 1 year in an amount not to exceed $61,425, with 2 one-year options in amounts not to exceed $63,268 and $65,166, respectively, for a total contract amount not to exceed $189,859. General Fund, Management Information Services Department budget.
Great, you've heard that resolution. If there aren't any comments, then is there a motion and a second, please?
So moved, Elder. Second, McPherson.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carries. 2025-26.
Authorizing a change order to exercise an option under contract number 2020-046 with New Flyer of America Incorporated for the purchase and delivery of 6 5-floor, 60-foot articulated buses, BRT coaches, as specified, for an amount not to exceed $7,956,739.02, RTA Development Fund, Fleet Management Department budget.
Okay, you've heard that resolution as well. Any comments from the board? Okay,
Move approval. Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Well, resolution carries. 2025-27.
Authorizing contract number 2024-195 with Railworks Track Services LLC for Brook Park Yard Tracks improvements in an amount not to exceed $2,589,826. RTA Development Fund, Engineering and Project Development Department budget.
Okay, you've heard that resolution as well. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion Pachetti.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. 2025-28.
Authorizing contract number 2024-205 with Standard Contracting and Engineering Incorporated for Brook Park Rail Shop modifications in an amount not to exceed $2,893,100. RTA Development Fund, Engineering and Project Development Department budget.
Okay, you've heard that resolution. Any comments? If not, a motion and a second.
Motion Pachetti.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes as well. 2025-29.
Authorizing contract number 2024-154 with Omax Corporation for the furnishing of a water jet cutting machine in an amount not to exceed $174,084. RTA Development Fund, Fleet Management Department budget.
You've heard that resolution. Comments or questions? If not, I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes as well. 2025-30.
Authorizing contract number 2024-210 with Petroleum Traders Corporation for the furnishing of approximately 1 million gallons of ultra-low sulfur diesel fuel as specified and as required for each year of the 3 years contract terms at a cost of minus $0.0333 per gallon for year 1, minus $0.0308 per gallon below the OPIS index for year 2, and minus $0.0283 per gallon below the OPIS index for year 3. General Fund, Fleet Management Department budget.
You've heard that presentation. All those, is there a motion to move that forward?
Motion Pachetti.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 2025-30 passes as well. 2025-31.
Amending Resolution Number 2024-075 to remove the vendor name Sam Schwartz Consulting LLC and replace it with T.Y. Lynn International.
Okay. You've heard that resolution. Comments or questions from the board? If not, a motion and a second.
So moved, Sleesman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes as well. 2025-32.
Approving the 2025 Internal Audit Plan.
We've looked at that in our internal audit committee meetings. Tony and his team have done a great job in putting that together, solicited our input from a board, I know from management as well, from some of the year-end retreats. to look at items of significance, of those of risk from the IA perspective, and really think you've put together a nice audit plan for the year. I'm going to make a motion to move that forward. Is there somebody else from the committee that can make a second?
Yes, second, Elder.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 2025-32 passes. 2025-33.
Amending Section 222.05 of the Codified Rules and Regulations of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority and amending the operating procedures for the Civilian Oversight Committee.
Great. That's just the rule. Okay. Any comments on this from management before we go into it?
Yep, I'll just give a quick comment. It's been.
Lauren's not here, sorry.
Yes, that's okay. Our liaison for the board, Lauren Welch, is under the weather today, so I'll speak on her behalf. It's been a really great ride. It continues to be. I appreciate the work that's being done by those members of the COC. It's really nice to be able to be ahead of the curve, I think, when it comes to the administration of it. It's not an easy thing to be able to review those items. It is a lot of work, and I do get, if I'm not even in the meetings fully, I do hear that you guys are here till 7, 8 o'clock, sometimes in the hallway, in the parking lot. I do appreciate that time that you put into it. As citizens of our community, it's really important, and your work does not go unnoticed. So thank you very much, and thanks to the staff as well. Doc, your work as well. Mr. Hudson back there in the back for Transit Police, we appreciate you, and John for legal. You guys have been invaluable, as well as Emily, who's not in this room, but I'm sure she's listening. Oh, there you go. Thank you so much for your time and your work on this. Continue the good work.
Great. Could I have a motion and a second on this?
So moved, Pachetti.
Second, Elder.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carries. 2025-34.
Reappointment of David Morris and Rebecca Wharton to the Civilian Oversight Committee.
Great. Could I have a motion and a second on that as well?
So moved.
Second.
Great. Before we vote on it, I know both David and Rebecca, I think, are in the audience. I recognize you from our interview process that Mayor Weiss and I took part in with VP Welsh as well. Really appreciate your willingness to continue to serve. Do either one of you like to make any comments just on your time on the committee? Really just appreciate your contribution back to RTA and the community.
I just want to say thanks for the reappointment. It's been an honor to serve on this committee. And Ms. Birdsong Terry, as you had indicated, I know our work doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you. But I also want to just commend the Transit Authority and the chief. I know that it was maybe a little unsettling, us coming in, but like you said, you guys were on the forefront of bringing this in. It's been a great partnership, a great network, and I think that the public will be very proud of the work that the committee has done in bringing us into the day and age that we should be with the oversight. So thank you.
Thank you again for the opportunity to serve. Rebecca said it best. I don't need to add anything to that, except again, thank you very, very much. Appreciate it.
Great, thank you. All right, I think we have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries as well. Thank you for your continued service. 2025-35.
Authorizing a renewal lease agreement with Downtown Cleveland Incorporated for a dog park at Settlers Landing Rapid Transit Station.
Great. I'll make a motion to move that forward. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries as well. 2026-36.
Authorizing an agreement with the City of Shaker Heights for a period of 1 year beginning January 1st, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $282,169.68 for landscape maintenance and parking lot snow removal, general fund, programming and planning, department budget, and in an amount not to exceed $37,894.97 for planting, replacement, landscaping in conjunction with the authority's Shaker Boulevard Shaker Shelter Project, RTA Development Fund, programming and planning, department budget.
Great. You've heard that piece of legislation. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved, Sleesman.
Second, Elder.
Roll
I
call,
believe
please.
We need a roll call. Okay. Mayor Biassiata.
Yes.
Ms. Elder.
Yes.
Mayor Kumar.
Yes.
Mr. Love.
Yes.
Reverend Lucas. Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
Ms. Pachetti.
Yes.
Mr. Sleesman.
Yes.
And Mayor Weiss.
Abstain.
Okay, we have 8 ayes and 1 abstention. It passes.
Okay, that completes the resolutions for today. Item 17 is Secretary Treasurer's Report from Raj Gotham, Deputy General Manager and of Finance, and there are also our Secretary Treasurer. Raj?
Mayor Kumar, members of the board, good morning. For those online, this is Raj Gautam. I am the Chief Financial Officer for the authority. This is the first report for the new year, 2025, so I'll be talking about the economic conditions, ridership, and related data essentially through the end of January. We do have the sales tax for February collection, so I will present that information also. We'll start with the economic conditions. The annual inflation rate, as we all recall, back in June 2022 had gone to 9.1%, subsequently went down to 2.4% as indicated by the blue line there on the chart, and had a slight uptick to 3% in January 2025. The Federal Open Market Committee, or FOMC, has maintained the interest rates at 4.5% effective January 29th. They are scheduled to meet again on March 18th and 19th, which will determine any resulting changes that they deem appropriate. Ridership through January 2025, comparing it to pre-COVID levels, we are approximately 600,000 rides lower, or roughly 24%. The January 25 ridership, when compared to January of 2024, was 4.3% higher. Passenger fares, January fare revenue was 31.4% below January 2024, and this is once again largely due to the timing of revenue collections, et cetera. We do expect to catch up over the next month or two as those collections come in. As a result, they were also 31.2% below budget. Sales and use tax, January was previously presented. February collections, which are based on November 2024 activity, were 2% lower than February 2024. We do not currently have the category information available, but once that becomes available, we'll share that with you. Selected data included in your monthly package. There should be no change on the long-term debt since we only make principal payments December 1 of each year, but at the end of the year, our long-term debt stood at 22.3 million, excuse me. The average investment yield on a year-to-date basis was 4.09%. Total cash and investments of 363.1 million, of which 333.4 million were in restricted funds, leaving 29.7 in the unrestricted or general fund areas, in excess of the 1-month reserve. With that, I will take any questions.
I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if you mentioned this. If you did, I might have missed it. And the ridership and the fare revenue, it looked lower than last year, I believe. No?
It is, and that's, so the numbers that we're reporting, Ms. Pachetti, are on a cash basis, not on an accrual basis. So these are the cash collections. Often what happens is, if a collection that we would have expected by the 31st of the month, for example, comes 2 days later, you won't see the revenue on these reports. So it is a timing issue, and we do expect to catch up over the next couple of months.
Okay, and I stand corrected. It looks like ridership is actually above last year's, but it's
Okay,
the-
I was
it's the
I
rev-
was focusing more on the
fare-
passenger
yeah,
fares.
the passengers fares will eventually even out.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir.
We always talk about the sales tax in particular, but with the drop, is that a timing issue, or is that a fundamental change to your best of your?
We don't know yet. So I think March collections will be very important for us. That will give us some information, not only about, because the March collections will be based on the December activity.
Right.
That's the Christmas and the holiday season, et cetera. And additionally, I think by December, we'd started hearing information about upcoming tariffs and fears of inflation. So I think that would be a tell when we watch it, but we are monitoring that very, very closely.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Guess not. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. My pleasure.
Next we have the General Manager's Report from India Birdsong Terry.
All right, good morning still. All right, I'm going to be as quick as I can because I know we've got a couple other things on the agenda, but we are in February. So wanted to be able to start off with a good news. Congratulations to just the entire industry to be able to recognize the equity that's important for our customers. We have Transit Equity Day, February 4th. If you had not said thank you and hello to your bus operator or your rail operator, please make sure that you do so. Also, those that are traveling alongside you, we have a photo here of Rosa Parks. If you have kind of listened to our nation's history, she played a pivotal role in making sure that everyone has access to public transportation, no matter where you come from, what you look like, how much money you make. And she really is kind of one of the rock stars of our industry. So many of our agencies across the nation celebrate her every February as we talk about Transit Equity Day. So we do the same here at RTA, and we appreciate Ms. Parks and the legacy that she has left for all of us to follow for generations to come. Speaking of equity and speaking of lobbying and speaking of advocacy, we descended upon Columbus, Ohio. So also within February, it's a busy month for us in the industry of public transit. This is the theme that you will see throughout my slide deck today, is the contributions not only of the men and women who support, who ride public transit, but also who administer our service, is also those who fund it. And we would be remiss without saying thank you, and also please continue to those individuals from the state and from the Ohio legislature who support public transit. So what you see here is a group of us. It's not all inclusive. We have a couple folks that went additionally, myself, I think Mike Shipper may not be in that, as well as a couple other folks. But this is a snippet of RTA staff with members of TARTA. TARTA is the acronym for the Toledo Area Transportation System, and board members to be able to really show the camaraderie of the industry. On the right-hand side, you'll see the state funding utilization and the Ohio legislature engagement. Fancy way of saying we went out to Columbus, met with our legislators, some of them who have been brand new. We had, I want to say, 3 or 4 brand new legislators that really had, or legislators had to understand what RTA means for the state. And it was our opportunity to really have a one-on-one FaceTime with those legislators and really reiterate what our service means to those men and women of Cuyahoga County. And with that, the importance of the state budget to support transportation. As information, it usually sits around $70 million annually. The OPTA, Ohio Public Transportation Association, combined have asked for $85 million to be on the docket, with that $15 million variance to be attributed toward workforce mobility programs, such as microtransit and the like, to be able to really move our industry forward and become innovative in some of the ways that we service our customers. Also, on that same day, I was able to provide testimony for the Ohio House Transportation Committee. This is a unique opportunity. I was not alone. There were about 9 or 10 other agencies. We had some written testimony as well, but at least 10 agencies showed up in person to testify on behalf of their home agencies. I believe I was number 3 or 4 in that list. we really had a cohesive opportunity. We probably were speaking for upwards of an hour and a half, if not two, to be able to explain why we needed that $85 million and what we were going to do with it. And the answer really was, again, a cohesive effort. I think the legislature was really excited and impressed by the combined effort. We talk to each other. And we also make sure that we support each other. It's not just urban, but they're rural transportation agencies that are also advocating for this money. And we were able to do that. We actually have been asked to testify again next week, and we will continue those administrative tasks to figure out who and when we will be able to lobby for that money. So we appreciate the opportunity. Anytime I have an opportunity to be able to advocate on behalf of public transit, I do so with honor, and I appreciate the support that you give. Also, being in a cohesive manner in the legislature has to be able to resound at home. So what we do every year, this is just as information for you, we have an executive leadership retreat. I really love these. It's a great opportunity for our internal team here to be able to kind of kick back, have a little fun, but we also educate ourselves on how to remain ambassadors for the process and the program. Traction, you'll hear that over and over again. If you remember, every quarter we come in front of you with a consultant, TransPro, to be able to help us through that process. We are starting to engage that and pull that in-house. If you remember, a few months ago, we introduced Nick Bigger, who is now the Senior Director of Customer Experience. He actually is out doing that in the field right now at a conference to be able to kind of learn how to build up that program. That in the fourth on this slide, is because traction was the theme of the actual retreat. We were learning and we were in class with our facilitator, Mike Nwankwo, who's out of Tri-C, to be able to guide us and educate us in how to become ambassadors and teachers of the traction process. There is a book named Traction as well. We did not pen it, but we do use it. And it is applying entrepreneurial principles in learning how to embed the mission and the vision of your company into your everyday practices. We are using that entrepreneurial and changing it into intrapreneurial. So it was a really good day. You can see some of the team there. We had a bake-off. We had some role-playing. We had some education sessions, so it was really nice. It was a 2-day experience, and we do that every year. Look forward to doing it again next year. Also, we are in our 50th year. Remember, this is our anniversary. We are actually straddling the 2024-2025 year because we were signed into law by Ralph Perk on, I want to say, December 30th of 1974. And so we're going to keep on celebrating into 2025. So we were actually at the Cleveland Cavaliers. As you know, they have the best record in the league for the NBA right now, and they won this game as well. We had nearly 300 employees from RTA across all different areas go ahead and enjoy that game. We had a co-branded hat. Folks really were excited about paying their way to be able to understand how we can continue to celebrate on the national stage. You'll see a bunch of folks there from our transit police, deputy team, myself, a few others, to be able to really say thank you to the community. And we had our moment in the sun on the floor there for a few seconds. I was told that a few people actually hit a shot after the game was over. I was not one of those. I hit the rim, and I was super excited about that. So as long as I didn't have an air ball, I was happy. Also, being able to have that national presence as we talk about workforce development remains a top priority for us. I was able to moderate a podcast called The Transit Authority. It is through APTA, the American Public Transportation Association, housed in Washington, D.C. I was able to be a moderator for talking about the business case behind workforce development and mentorship programs. As you remember, we have a few robust programs ourselves here for operators and laborers and mechanics to be able to really support each other through their careers at RTA. So Laura Hendricks from TransDev, which is on the private side, she was actually across the pond in Paris, being able to give us her testimony. Theo Richards out in Capital Area Transit System, they're creating their mentorship program. And Kristen Wierzinski, who is in California at Riverside Transit, is somewhere in the middle, has had it for a few years and is doing some really good work to be able to talk about having board support for those programs. How do you get there? How do you get to the point of union? and management collaboration to create the program, and how do you sustain it through the financial outlook for future years. So it was a great conversation. If you have time, tune into it. It is recorded. Also, I always like to let you know when I'm in the community representing RTA. I was a part of Accelerate. That is a Cleveland leadership program. I do serve as a board member on the Cleveland leadership grouping, and Accelerate is an annual pitch competition for the community programs. $5,000 is the sweet spot. That's what everybody is competing for, and $2,500 are the finalists. You see them up there on the screen there. I was on the Sustainability and Innovation Committee. It was really nice to be able to talk about things like electric charging came up, composting came up, education for women in STEM programs came up. There was a myriad of things. It was a super engaging opportunity to be able to represent RTA on that, to make sure that we are at the table when those conversations are there. Also, this came at the last minute. We put the slide in yesterday. Someone asked me from the Cavs what I was doing on the 21st, and I said, I'm in town working. What are you doing? And they said, well, we'd like you to be on the stage again at the Cavs. I was honored as one of the 10 Black women professionals in Greater Cleveland that are impacting the community through public service. It was really nice to be able to receive this award. The Cleveland Cavaliers, this is their Black Heritage Celebration. They do it every year. They had 2 games this month. I want to say the last game that they had against the Grizzlies, they dedicated that to the Divine Nine, and those are the African-American historically supporting groups for community engagement, education, and professional development among a myriad of opportunities for fraternities and sororities throughout the country. This was their Black women empowerment game. So it was really nice to be there. I appreciate it. My phone did blow up. I did not tell anyone here that I was going, and folks were like, oh my gosh, we see you on the Jumbotron. So it was a great opportunity to surprise the staff as well. I appreciate that. That is Nick Barledge in the photo along with me, the Chief Executive Officer for Rock Entertainment. And that's actually, for you guys that are fans, the mother of Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland. She's a really nice lady as well. She gave out the awards. Also, we are in Black History Month, so you'll see a theme in a lot of these slides. Natoya Walker-Minor and I were able to attend the National Association of Black Journalists Cleveland chapter. This is important because a lot of these publications support public service advertisement. A lot of these publications that are owned and also journalists through the African American communities support public transit, and we wanted to make sure that we were there to capitalize on the opportunity to make sure we support their works as we go through. We always know that media plays a huge part, regardless of what creed or color it is, in how we do business and how folks understand what we're doing underneath the hood. And this is no exception. It was their first inaugural Hall of Fame induction and awards ceremony. It was held in the museum district, as I call it, at the museum, Cleveland History Museum. And I'm gonna try my best so that we can get a bus in there. That's gonna be my goal for 2025. They had some amazing automobiles there, so I do think public transit is missing, and we'll follow up with that. And that takes me to the end of the presentation, unless there are any questions. Busy month.
Questions from the board? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Few things under President's Report. Just a final thank you to Mayor Biassiata for your service to the board. As we mentioned earlier, you were a great asset. We're going to miss you, but we hope you stay close.
Thank you.
Also, a little birdie told me that tomorrow might be Reverend Lucas's birthday, so we're going to extend our birthday wishes to you in advance of tomorrow's date. What? Okay, great. Also, I'm sorry for the board to announce this, but Teresa Barrage is going to be moving on to a new position. It sounds like a wonderful opportunity. In talking with her about it, I know she's super excited about the next chapter of her life. So we really wish you the best in your future endeavors, but we will miss you sorely. When you look at how the board operates and everything behind it, just look at Teresa, because she's the person behind the scenes that keeps us all together and pointed in the right direction. So I want to just thank you for your service.
So just to embarrass Teresa a little further, we just want to say thank you again, Teresa. I echo all of the comments that Mayor Kumar made. You've really been the rock behind a lot of our resolution process, which can sometimes be a little hairy, as will be evidenced in a few minutes. But we appreciate the the oversight that you really have, and I always kind of call you the quiet force behind it, right? You're very understated and reserved and quiet nature, but you have a strength that we appreciate, and it's hard to be duplicated. Just as information, we will be celebrating Teresa on her last board meeting, and ironically, the first of another board member. So we'll be able to have celebratory moment on March 4th. And at that time, Teresa, get your remarks together because we'll ask you to take the podium.
Also, last but not least, just a reminder that our board retreat is coming up this week. Start time at 8 a.m. I know we've got a full agenda on that, so looking forward to that. On to item 21. Is there any new business? Yes, Reverend.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm a little caught hearing about Teresa because we worked so close together all during my administration as vice president and president. The other day, when they were checking me out of the hospital again, one of the nurses came over and looked and stared at me and said, "Didn't you used to be somebody?" So I think that lets me know what's going on in my life. But in a few hours, Lord lets me live till 12 o'clock. I'll be 84 years old, and I'm very thankful for that. This last year was extremely hard, but we made through it. I'll never forget seeing India after the accident, and Washington stood over my bed all night long. Doc was big, back and forth. The rest of you have been so very kind to me. I'm feeling better, I feel strong, and I'm so glad because I wasn't sure that 84 was going to come my way on this side. But I'm just, again, glad to be back today. Thank you again for your cards and concerns. President's called everybody. I know I'm missing names, but know that they're on my spirit and on my heart. Glad to see you. Thank you.
Well, we're glad to have you back here. We have one more item of new business that has been added in consultation with General Counsel Janet Burney. We have one more resolution. Teresa, please. And I don't know what number that is, or I would say it, but
37.
okay, make sure.
2025-37, approving a new 3-year collective bargaining agreement covering conditions of employment with Local 268 of the Amalgamated Transit Union.
Great. And since that was added to the agenda, I've asked management if someone could present and provide an overview of that contract, so we have that on for public record.
We'll have Deputy General Manager George Fields and Senior Labor Lead Negotiator Scott Ferraro will be giving that highlighted update.
Good morning, Board President Mayor Kumar, Ms. Birdsong Terry, members of the board. It is our pleasure to bring forth to you the collective bargaining agreement between Amalgamated Transit Union, GCRTA, a new 3-year agreement. As Ms. Birdsong Terry mentioned, we'll briefly provide you with some overview of that. I'm going to turn it over to Scott Ferraro.
Again, good morning, Mayor Kumar, board CEO, India Birdsong Terry, and members of the board. I'm Scott Ferraro. I'm the Senior Director of Labor and Employer Relations and Compliance. And as George says, I'm pleased to announce that we have a new 3-year tentative agreement that we're bringing to you today that was reached by the ATU leadership as well as RTA management's negotiating team. It's a 3-year contract that will run from August 1 of 2024 through July 31st of 2027. This contract is for 1,800 employees of our, approximately 1,800 employees of our organization. The union ratified this agreement on February 18th last week. The 3-year contract includes a overall 4.43% increase over the next 3 years.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the board?
Do we need a motion to add it to the agenda before we have a motion to pass?
That was my question to General Counsel earlier, but she can explain.
I'm sorry, Mary Kumar, one correction. I said 443, it's 433 over the next 3 years.
Duly amended.
The board can move to add this to the agenda and then take a vote on it. Teresa, if you could read the full resolution into the record, that would be helpful too.
We want a motion first?
I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Are we doing the motion in second first, or?
What? Oh, you want to make the motion first?
Oh, I thought we were going to have a reading of it.
To add?
Go ahead.
Or we're reading it first, okay.
Yeah, so then we know what's, I think if you read it, then we know what we're adding to the agenda.
Okay.
So that's why I request the reading first.
Okay, so I did read the title. Whereas the previous collective bargaining agreement between Local 268 of the Amalgamated Transit Union and the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority, established August 1st, 2021, expired at midnight on July 31st, 2024, but was continued to be in effect during negotiations. And whereas negotiations between representatives of Local 268 of the Amalgamated Transit Union and representatives of GCRTA has produced a new collective bargaining agreement covering the period from August 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2027. And whereas the members of Local 268 of the Amalgamated Transit Union have approved the new successor collective bargaining agreement. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority, Cuyahoga County, Ohio, that the collective bargaining agreement for employees represented by Local 268 of the ATU be and it is hereby amended by incorporating the changes, modifications, additions, and deletions as negotiated by the representatives of Local 268 of the ATU and the GCRTA to become effective, retroactive to August 1st, 2024, and continue through July 31st, 2027. That said contract will be funded through the general fund, that the collective bargaining agreement as amended be and hereby is approved, that this resolution shall become effective immediately upon its adoption.
Mr. President, if I may have the floor?
Yes.
Is there any comments, questions, or discussion amongst my fellow board members regarding Resolution 2025-37? Hearing none, I move to add to the agenda Resolution number 25-37. Do I have a second?
Second, Love.
All in favor of adding this to the agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Sorry. I'd like to, Mr. President, I'd like to further move that we pass resolution, or I'm sorry, adopt resolution number 2025-37. Do I have a second?
Second, Sleesman.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution 2025-37 has been adopted. I wanted to have that one last action. Thank you.
We're just going to keep adding new business.
That's it. It's just Michael Corleone. When you think you're out, they'll pull you back in.
We'll keep you on speed dial. Is there any other new business from the board? Okay, if not, item 22, the next regular board meeting, an annual meeting is scheduled for March 18th, 2025 in this building and in this room. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Mayor Weiss.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.